Buenas noches, Mademoiselle Yokohama. This is the milking song again. I've noticed with music, you gotta listen to it over and over and over again so you memorize all the notes so you know what note's coming next. That's how you get to know a piece of music. um, in the East, they've adopted a lot of our good things, our technology and that kind of thing, to a large extent. But we have yet to adopt all the good things that they have. So, the task is to stay in the present moment. Why stay in the present moment? Why is that the task? Well, when being wet behind the ears, intellectually, and from the South, and from the country, I didn't have any. I've never met anybody that studied Zen or anything like that. I've yet to meet this person. I've never met that person yet. I've met people that studied a lot of. I've met some people flaky as a fish stick, and they talk about a lot of stuff, but I've never met a practitioner of Zen. Just never met that person. And I think if I did, they'd probably get on my nerves because they seem like super uptight people. Uptight in the wrong ways. Mistaking the essential for the inessential and the inessential for the essential. My boy, as I was saying earlier in the last video, Zen Master Song Son, the 22nd patriarch of Zen, Korean Zen, quotes from the following line from one of the sutras. To pass through this gate, do not attach to any thinking that arises in the mind. Okay? So why is that? There's a correlation between non-attachment and being in the present moment. You cannot practice non-attachment. You can't practice detachment without practicing moment-to-moment awareness. It's impossible. All good things begin with all good things have awareness as their root. And out of awareness of one's awareness is the highest form of awareness. So to pass through this gate, this great gate called Zen, this great gate called the present moment, takes kind of a crazy person to actually commit to staying in the present moment. I've been doing it for 2 years. I've been in the present moment for 2 years. It's far out. So how does one do it? Well, sustained equilibrium. Earlier in the previous videos, I said that there are the first three principles of sustained equilibrium. I put them in the wrong order, I decided. The first principle of sustained equilibrium is subjective experience, what I call subjective experience. The second principle of sustained equilibrium is systematic forgetting, and the third principle of sustained equilibrium is equilibrium points in mind and body and environment. So those are three principles. The first principle of sustained equilibrium is what I call subjective experience. I like this one. It seemed to me that in order to systematically stay in the present moment, and I mean stay in the present moment from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, such that I'm so ingrained, it's so deeply ingrained in me that when I go to take a leak in the middle of the night, I'm doing this. I'm not bullshitting you. So deeply ingrained in me. Not a second goes by. The first principle of sustained equilibrium is subjective experience. So, ever seen a rock? Ever been to a climbing wall? I went to one with a buddy of mine over the summer. Kind of a frustrating experience, but there are handholds going up those things. Without the handholds, you can't get up the rock, the fake rock or whatever. When you're climbing a rock, you have to have handholds and footholds. In like manner, when you're endeavoring to stay in the present moment, you have to have anchors. You have to have anchors in your environment and in your body and in your mind. Subjective experience, the first principle, means do this. Right now, I'm sitting on the ground. I can feel the ground. I can feel my ass pressing against the ground. I can feel some pain in my legs, bearable, nothing too terrible. Feel a slight dull pain in my back. I have the taste of coffee in my mouth. But let's focus for a moment on the way, if you're sitting down, which I assume you are, there is a sensation of your ass against that seat. That is an anchor. You can rest your attention in that anchor. You can sink your attention into that anchor. Do it for a second. Just close your eyes and feel your ass against the seat. That is an anchor. That's the first anchor I started using. Ass against the seat. I lodge my attention lightly there. I don't strain. I had to go through a long time of straining to realize you don't strain. You lightly rest your attention on the sensation. You light it up, so to speak. If it was a text on a screen, you would highlight it. You highlight that sensation cognitively. You concentrate on that sensation. When you find your mind drifting towards something else, we'll get to this. But you go back. Concentrate on that sensation. That's an example of an anchor in the body. That's an example of a foothold or a handhold climbing in a climbing wall. Okay, that's an anchor. That is a little parcel of existence that I've claimed as being in that which is aware. The idea is to be as aware as possible when you're staying in the present moment, right? To conquer the present moment means to be as aware of the present moment as possible, which means I need to have as many things as possible around me and in me at all times to orient myself to the present all the time. So the first thing I'm talking about, the first simplest thing, is your ass against the seat. That's an anchor. There's a lot of other anchors, and that's the most basic one. So that's a good example of subjective experience. If I sit here for a moment, let's just sit here for a moment, and I were to catalog, I was just going to start saying, what is the totality of the subjective experience of being me at this precise instant? It's what I just described: the pain in my knees, okay? The pain in my back, the flavor in my mouth, the taste in my mouth, the temperature in here. It's cold here in northern Arizona. It's got the heater on, okay? Emotionally, I feel like I always do. Hey man, I'm on psych meds, heavy ones. So I don't have any positive emotion. I don't have that positive loop feedback. I don't have that dopamine feedback. So you know what? It feels like shit. I'm not complaining. It's an anchor. Okay? This is the ultimate thing, man. That meteorology that we can't get rid of, I can't get rid of it. That meteorology inside me, this gross feeling inside me right now, I'm all fucked up inside. I've been fucked up all my life. It's not going anywhere. It's meteorology. I'll go outside and scream at the clouds, get the fuck out of here. Good luck. I'd have the same shot at it. Okay? I've tried to get rid of these storm systems, these drizzly rains that last for days and days and lifetimes. They don't go away. So I anchor in them. The question is, right now, is it bearable? I'm not talking about your worst moment. Don't think about that. I'm saying right now, at this moment, yeah, I feel like shit right now. Is it bearable? It is. I figured something out. Just because I feel like shit doesn't mean anything. If it's bearable and it's not going anywhere, it has to be used. It has to be used as an anchor. Instead of suffering passively like I have all my life, I'm going to take existence by the balls, and I'm going to take this very thing, these very feelings that have been torturing me all my life, and I'm going to use them like ore. I'm going to use them like fuel. Okay? I'm going to use them and abuse them. I'm going to use them and abuse them. That is to say, I'm going to lasso my pain. I'm going to domesticate it. These rancid sensations inside me are just like the pain in my knees that I'm using as an anchor. Just like my ass pressed against the floor, I'm using as an anchor. In like manner, these shitty feelings I have, these emotional shitty feelings I have, I'm using them as an anchor. I'm not trying to get rid of them. I want them to stay. If they're bearable, I want them to stay. I'll get to that in the next part.